murder. Yeah, yeah. Coming up next on the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, we want to introduce to you our new show, The Believe Center. Stay tuned. What's up, everybody? Hey, how are you doing? This is Marty Sellers, your mental health hygienist, coming to you live and in living color, all the way from Southern California. And y'all, I am so excited to be launching our new show. You know, I'm always trying to do something new and keep you aware of what's going on in the hood all across this nation. So I'm so excited to be launching our new show called The Believe Center. And what this show is all about, we're going to be going every other Wednesday, opposite of the doctor's show. And what this show is all about is to bring awareness to foster care and foster youth everywhere. And it is a serious condition that we're talking about. But specifically, this show is designed to highlight foster care, but also to highlight the unaccompanied minors that hit our borders. Because I know what you've heard, I know what you've seen, but we want to dispel a lot of these rumors and a lot of these myths that come about talking about these young people. They are human, and every heart matters when it comes to our youth. So listen, if you're going to be a part of this and you want to join in on the dialogue, we want to encourage you to check out either our Mental Health Matters with Marty page on Facebook or Marcel Media from your YouTube account. Again, invite people into this. We're going to be hablas español, pero no habla nada, pero mi nombre es Martinez, pero Dominican tres times removed. I guess. I don't know. I'm just having fun with it, y'all. But we're going to be talking about this today, and we are so excited about that. Auntie, Lorraine, my biggest fans, I love you guys. Thank you for coming in. Listen, we're going to have a great show tonight as we're talking about this, the Believe Center at Marcel. And what this is all about is our foster family agency that we have launched here about a year and a half into this. And we are so excited. And we wanted to bring attention to that particular population. So let me share with you a few statistics that are just mind-blowing that I want to share with you before I bring on our guest tonight. These are current statistics from 2020 that reflect our current foster care system here in America. There are approximately 424,000 kids, young people in foster care in America. Let me say that again. There are approximately 424,000 young people nationwide in foster care. The median age of a foster care child that is in placement is 6.5 years old. I can't even imagine that. That's the median age of our young people. Approximately 20,000 youth age out of foster care. In other words, stay in foster care until between the ages of 18 and 21 every year. 20,000 age out every year. Our foster care system, now listen to this, underinvest in foster children. Wow. Contributing less than 50% of what it costs the average American family to raise their children. In other words, even when kids are placed in stable homes in foster care, our government contributes less than 50% of what it takes to raise a child here in America. Listen, these stats are so staggering. Within 4 years of a child aging out, remember I said 20,000 age out between that age group between 18 and 21. Within 4 years of aging out, do you know that over 50% of them don't have an income and are usually threatening being homeless, if not are already homeless, while the other 50% usually make an average income of $7,500 a year. Staggering. And the last one that I want to talk to you about today is only 5% of rural foster youth and only about 21% of urban foster youth say that they have access to home computers and internet services in the foster care homes that they are at. This is staggering, especially when we just are barely coming out of a pandemic. Now, yes, we had to make ways because that statistic might be a little bit miscued a little since we're coming out of a pandemic and we had to do homeschooling, but still, that is staggering. We've all seen that picture of those young people standing and sitting outside of McDonald's and Taco Bell to use the free internet so that they can do their schoolwork. So we have to, listen, I want to bring highlights to the need of being more mindful about our foster youth. And the Belief Center, we have this amazing opportunity of working with these children that we call unaccompanied minors that come to the border. Let me give you some more statistics so that you understand what we're talking about and how these numbers. Starting in October 2020, the average number of unaccompanied children in care was about 1,929. That was October 2020. December 2020, that number went from 1,900 to 3,691. Now, in February of this year, February of 2021, that number went to 6,581. And then as of March of this year, that number jumped all the way to 10,418 kids that are these unaccompanied minors that have hit our borders that we have taken on. And we have to, listen, these are our children. I've had the amazing opportunity to see some of these children and to interact with them. And let me tell you something, if I had it, I would just take them all in and had a house big enough to love on them and feed them and just make sure they had the proper education, everything. They have just stolen my heart. But I'm not here alone to talk to you about this show. I'm so glad to have with me Dr. Tricia Pegues and Lupe Gonzalez. Hello, Sanchez. Almost called you the wrong thing, Lupe. How are you guys?
We're doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I don't know what I wanted to call you, Lupe. I called you something else. But Lupe and Tricia, we are so glad to have you both on the show. And thank you for being on this inaugural show. I'm so excited. Are you guys excited about this?
Yes, we are.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Yes, because don't be nervous. Just share, because you know what? We all have this passion. Tricia, please share with us, when it comes to the Belief Center. I know that this has been a dream and vision of yours to help these children who could not help themselves. Tell us, one, who you are and why is this so important to you?
Yeah, so I am currently the COO at Marcel Consulting and Mental Health Services. And Marty was correct. This has been a dream that I've had for about 13, 14 years,
Hmm.
is really just to help children in general. I've worked for
Yes.
child welfare services for 20 plus years,
Right.
and wanted to be able to contribute to children in foster care. And that has
Hmm.
evolved over the years,
Hmm.
from including pregnant teenagers,
Right.
as also including victims of sex trafficking, which
Right.
is extremely high in our child welfare system. And to more recently, it's almost as if it all encompasses unaccompanied minors, because they
Yes.
experience all of that,
Hmm.
in addition to trying to escape countries that where there is a lot of violence, and
Mm.
just coming to some type of security and safety,
Yes.
whatever that is,
Yes. Yes.
even if it's sitting at the border waiting to come across.
Right.
It's still
Right.
safer there than it is what they're running from.
Hmm. You said something that was very, very critical, and I think a lot of our people don't realize so kind of where these children are coming from. I can't imagine coming from one of the clinicians corrected me, Honduras. They said probably the H is silent.
Honduras.
So, okay, Honduras, Guatemala, Costa Rica. And some of these other places that these children are coming from, and that they're coming to the borders unaccompanied from any adults or anything like that. It just blows my mind. When I met that 4-year-old child the other day, and my heart broke and wept for about that child. Lupe, talk to us. Tell us who you are, and why you love and this field that we're in with foster care.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you for having me here.
Of
I
course.
am Lupus Sanchez,
Woo!
associate social worker. I've been with the Belief Center since the start, and let me
Yes.
just tell you, thank you. And it's just been an honor and working and at the Belief Center, but overall,
Right.
it's just a dream come true because I've always wanted to work with undocumented children. It's just a
Mm-hmm.
passion. Just because I am first generation American. My parents
Wow.
are from El Salvador, Central America,
Okay.
which a lot of the children do come from Central America.
Mm-hmm.
So of course, I could relate in that perspective, but overall, like Trisha mentioned, also I've been a passion advocate of children. I've been
Right.
in the working in the social services for probably 15 years. I've worked with the
Wow.
elderly,
Mm-hmm.
work inside the jails,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wow.
finally, in foster care, but finally, I'm now working with undocumented children, which is,
Yes.
I think for me, it's a blessing because
Mm-hmm.
I'm able to give them a little bit of, you could say, the American dream from my
Uh-huh.
perspective,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
which is what they're seeing.
Right.
And unfortunately, yes, they do come here for a better life. And people may question, like, why,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know, coming by themselves
Mm-hmm.
is that worth it? But
Mm-hmm.
like Trisha said, any little piece of their
Yes.
travels compared to their
Yes.
home living is
Right.
10 times better, right?
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have worked with many of the children's here, with the Belief Center that have
Right.
reunified with their family,
Right.
but I've experienced many of the children suffering from, crimes
Mm-hmm.
in their neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
losing their family members,
Right.
um, to fortunately a lot of the hurricanes that happened in
Mm-hmm.
2019. Kids lost
Yes.
everything, living under
Yes.
bridges. These
Right.
are 4-year-old, 5-year-old little kids sacrificing their life to come to here, to
Right.
have a place, to have food, and everything. So
Yes.
I do understand the sacrifices, right? So for
Mm-hmm.
me to be able to impact them in their life, to be able to see the, okay, this is just the beginning, the first process
Right.
of being
Right.
of the immigration process, right?
Mm-hmm.
This
Mm-hmm.
is not just for everything, it's just the first
Right.
beginning of it, which is placing them and reunifying them with their family.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
Yes.
major,
It
you
is.
know.
Yeah.
It
Um,
is.
Right. So they come here and they might be coming with their parents, they could be with their cousins, aunts and uncle, as long as they're with family. But just to see the faces when you reunify those children in the airport,
Mm-hmm.
and Trisha and I were there firsthand, and they run to their mom, and that was, I could do that 10 times, 20 times, 100 times just
Yes.
to
Yes.
see
Yes.
that moment,
Yes.
right?
So
Yes.
we're gonna get there. We're
Still,
gonna get
still
there
getting
because that
chills. Yes.
I know. Okay,
Right?
I'm jealous because I
Yeah,
would
flashback.
stop it. You guys will not talk about that, and I can't be a part of it. I love. So let's go here. I started off the show talking about some amazing statistics that happens with that. Talk to me about some of the when you heard those statistics about first and foremost the foster care in our own country, and then I threw out some that Trisha helped to research about the numbers that keep growing each month about those unaccompanied minors. That's the ones that successfully make it in here, not to talk about those who get turned away at the borders as well. Um, those numbers
Right.
to me are just staggering. Dr. Pegues, what would you say when you heard me read off those numbers and those statistics about our foster youth in this country, and then all second part of that with those that are unaccompanied coming to this country?
Yeah, definitely with our children here in child welfare,
Mm-hmm.
the numbers you gave were not surprising to me at all. Being
Mm-hmm.
in child welfare for 20 years, I've always heard those staggering numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
as social workers working in the field, it was always very clear to us that the child welfare system was never designed to raise children, but
Right.
that's what in fact it is doing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and until there is a complete overhaul, it's
Mm-hmm.
always going to look like this. There's always going to be
Mm.
that disparity.
Right.
They started to overhaul the system a few years in
Mm-hmm.
2017, and
Mm-hmm.
that was definitely very positive changes
Mm-hmm.
for the safety and protection of
Mm-hmm.
children in foster care.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there needs to be even more drastic steps to
Mm-hmm.
bridge that equity gap of how the children now are being cared for on a financial basis, and
Right.
what does that look like, and
Right.
what are we requiring to take care of those kids?
Yes, yes. You were talking about there was an overhaul in 2017. For those of us who may not understand, and I love this, Thomas Davis. We love our social workers. That's right, Thomas. We do love our social workers. With that, look, she's like, yes, Thomas. Thomas is an amazing therapist. Lupe, out of DC. He wasn't in town when you guys were there, was he? He should have been in town. He was supposed to take you guys out.
Well, he did give us a few recommendations on where to find some
Mhm.
good places to eat.
Yes,
Mhm.
we're grateful.
Mhm. But Trisha, I don't want to gloss upon because there's so
Yeah.
many of us who don't really understand the social services system and what that looks like. You were talking about there were some changes that were made in 2017. Can you talk about a little bit of those changes and it's changes that you still see we need to keep making to improve our children who are in foster care?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the biggest changes in 2017 was a implementation in the state of California. These are the changes
Uh-huh.
happened
Right,
in the
right,
state of California.
right.
Is the accreditation process. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing that was before 2017 was community care licensing just did not have the capacity
Right,
to really ensure that every single facility, foster family agency or
right,
a group home,
right.
was meeting the above standards, or
Mm-hmm.
at least
Mm-hmm.
the minimum. So there's a minimum level of standards that
Right. Right.
Title 22 and written directives can cover.
Mm-hmm.
But really, accreditation now takes them a few steps above the minimum standard, and
Yes.
requires these agencies to be accredited by an outside body
Mm-hmm.
who has their own level of excellence standards.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And every agency was given a matter of 2 years to become
Mm-hmm.
accredited and
Mm-hmm.
to meet those standards. And there were
Mm-hmm.
3 accrediting bodies that you could choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And what it also did in that accreditation process was require these foster family agencies and these group homes to be more accountable to business
Right.
standards as
Right.
well, because they were functioning very low level business standards.
Yes.
So yes, they had board meetings because they had to prove the board meetings. And now, what does that board actually control? That was being
Yes.
considered in the accreditation
Yes.
process. And they also had to rewrite their program
Mm-hmm.
statements. Many of them
Mm-hmm.
they were 30 to 50 pages maybe, and a program statement describes to the licensing agency
How the
what
program's going to
services they're
work.
going to provide to the
Yes.
children. Yes,
Right.
yes. And so what I do believe the state of California did very well was providing a guide for what that program statement needed to be
Yes.
and
Yes.
what requirements had to be in place in order
Right.
to move forward with your
Right.
license. And
Right.
we saw those program statements go from 30 to 50 pages to 400 pages,
Right.
350 pages. And they were
Right.
being held now to these standards of how are you going to meet these needs?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How are you going to provide for these kids? And
Mm-hmm.
and mind you, what you write down, we're going to hold you accountable to.
Told you. Yes. Yes.
So yeah. So don't just write anything because you think you know what you want us to hear, but
That's
what you're
good.
actually going to do, because what's in your program statement, we're now going to
Is
hold
what
you
you can.
accountable to, and CCL holds them accountable to that.
Yes.
And now
CCL
on top of
is
that, oh sorry, community care licensing.
okay. Okay. I know the acronyms, but our
Yeah.
listeners may not.
So now they have two bodies holding them
Yes.
accountable to what they
Yes.
say they're going to do for kids, for our
Yes.
kids who are in child welfare.
Yes, I think that's brilliant. I think that's absolutely amazing. So, what makes the program that we do at the Believe Center at Marcel so different from traditional foster family agencies? I'm going to have you first talk about that, Trisha, and then Lupe. We're going to talk about them from you, how you're feeling the effects of that and the joys that you get from working with these children.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Go
definitely.
ahead, Trisha.
So we still have to follow the same licensing standards in the state of
Mm-hmm.
California. We had to write the same type of program statement, and we
Mm-hmm.
had to apply it to a population of children
Mm-hmm.
that don't move through our regular child welfare system. So
Mm-hmm.
our unaccompanied children who come to the border, they're
Mm-hmm.
placed in the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement.
Mm-hmm.
And so before the program statement, we had to write, basically, in a sense, the same, a program to get
Right.
it approved by Office of Refugee Resettlement and meet their standards.
Mm-hmm.
And their standards go by
Hmm.
um, many other policies and procedures that don't
Right.
exist in the general child welfare. So it's
Right.
really like we are combining both programs,
To mm-hmm.
because we have to meet the state standards of licensing and also
While at
now
the same
meet the
time.
program
Mhm.
standards that follow the Flores Act,
Yes. Ooh.
that governs all of these policies and procedures for unaccompanied children.
Yes. Lupe, did you see how she threw out, big terms? Yes, the Flores Act and da 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 CCL. But I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. Lupe,
That's
now you
good.
being a case manager, what is your role as
Mhm.
a case manager for this program at the Belief Center at Marcel with being a case manager for these unaccompanied children?
Yeah. So first, my job will be advocate, advocate advocate,
Right.
right?
Oh, I love it.
So,
Yes.
right, that's number one. And
Yes.
with the plan of reunifying the children with their family members, like I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
earlier. So, how we get the process is when ORR, Office of
Mm-hmm.
Refugee Resettlement, sends us a
Yes.
child,
Uh-huh.
our job is to, place the child in a foster home,
Mm-hmm.
approved by CCL, right, and
Mm-hmm.
the foster agency. And
Mm-hmm.
then while we're placing them at at the foster home, sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on reunifying them, meaning finding, first of all, finding their family members, because
Right.
sometimes the child may only come with a little piece of paper saying, "This is my mom, this is my dad, or
Right.
this is my
Wow.
aunt or grandma," and
Wow.
so forth. So,
Mhm.
Wow.
yes, so my job is to actually find, yes, it's
Th-
horrible, right? So,
yeah. Go
yes.
ahead. Go ahead. You're on a
So,
roll. You're
my
just
job is
so
to actually find, yes. So my job is to actually find their family member. Usually, during an immigration process, they're
okay.
asked, "Do you know who you're coming with?" And that's
Uh-huh.
when they show the piece of paper. Yeah, I'm going to grandmother so so, mom so so, and Virginia. They're in California, Oregon, and so forth.
Right.
Yes. Then
Mhm.
from there,
Right.
I contact the family and inform them, like, we have, a family member here. And then, I still request all their identity to
Right.
see if, they know the child, and
Right.
making sure that we're sending the child or planning the reunification with someone that does know the child, because there is sometimes that there could be some fraud out there. I'm just being
Right. Right.
honest,
Right. You're
so
absolutely
our
right.
job is, so I'm investigating from day one, like, how do you know the kid? Did you give permission? There's so many
Yes.
questions and policy that we have to follow, and
Right.
timeline. When I do that, then after that, we process all the paperwork through OR,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that they're okay for them. Basically, that
Right.
they're not the type of person that is just gonna traffic someone, and then from
Right.
there, it could last from 10 to 15 to 30 days, the process of the
Wow.
paperwork.
Wow. Wow.
There's
I gotta
so
give a
many
shout out.
paperwork that I really don't. Oh, yeah, go for it.
No, I gotta give a shout out. Put that last comment back up, Daryl. Hello, darling. How are you? We just love you, Portia Scott. Definitely.
Hi,
Yes, we have to.
Portia.
Oh, Lupe, John Scott, John Henry Scott, who is with us, training us.
Yes.
That Portia is his wife. So, hello,
Oh, nice to
darling.
meet you.
Yes,
Hi.
yes, yes. But
Thank
no,
you.
we have this
So,
conversation.
yeah.
Yeah, and so important. So thank
Yes.
you for educating us, because you're right. So I'm so amazed. So let me recap. So I'm following you. I know, but I want to make sure that our listeners are following you as well. So a kid can come to the border. They get, process can be put I don't want to call them holding tanks. What's the proper term, Tricia? I'm trying to be politically
Shelter.
correct. Yes, into a
Shelter.
shelter. So they're putting into a they're placed in a
Thank you,
shelter.
Portia.
They're placed in a shelter. I
Yeah.
think they're cut. No, they're not. They're placed in a shelter. The shelter then gets them reunified, gets them to us. And at that point, you can say they will come, and we're investigating who to kind of, if we can get them a family member, and they're coming with a piece of paper. So a 4-year-old, I can't get that 4-year-old young boy out of
Yeah.
my mind, because he was so
Yeah.
adorable. He looked like he could have been one of my
Yeah.
nieces, my nephews. I'm just going, I
He's
told you I don't have
adorable.
a house big enough. He's adorable. I want them all. I want them all.
Yeah.
So he comes with a little piece of paper and says, Maria Flores in Virginia. And you're like, oh my God, that's all that we have. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like finding
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
needle in a haystack. Go ahead, Trisha. You saying what?
Yeah, that has been the case with almost all of our kids that we've gotten so far. And then also, these children are at even a higher risk for
Ooh.
trafficking. whether it
Yes.
be sex trafficking
Mm.
or labor trafficking. And so a lot
Yes.
of the interview questions that Lupe is required to ask is a part of her assessment to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that they aren't being trafficked.
Mm-hmm. You're right. You're right. There's so much
Yes.
that I know that
Yes.
you all do because I know the process because when we get them, these young people see a nurse. They're assessed health wise immediately. They then go into case management
Mental.
immediately. They go into therapy immediately. We then get them into school immediately. We get them clothed and then get them located with a foster family immediately. We make sure that they have a hot meal immediately. All these type of things that
Yes.
we're doing. Trisha, can you talk to us kind of because there's such a huge need, and I don't want to allow this opportunity to pass us without talking about the need that we have for
Mm.
foster and are we calling it resource families? Is that our terminology
Yeah.
we're using? Okay, resource families. With that, go ahead, Trisha.
Yes, resource families is the new term that the state of California added as a part of those changes in
Yes.
2017. And yes, the need is huge right now,
Yes.
especially after coming out of COVID.
COVID.
Um,
Yes.
COVID was scary for all of us,
Mm-hmm.
especially resource families, because
Mm-hmm.
they weren't sure what expectations were of them, but
Mm-hmm.
also what evaluations or testing or exams that the children
Mm-hmm.
were going through. So
Mm-hmm.
it was definitely hard to recruit during COVID, and
Mm-hmm.
we are at a place now where we have to provide beds because there's not enough beds for the children that are waiting to be
Mm-hmm.
placed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a huge need. It's a need for families who can take these children in and show them something that they've never had. The children
Mm-hmm.
that are coming to the border are so appreciative just for that
Yes.
meal that they get right when
Ooh.
they get to our center.
Yes.
Mm.
Just for being given a one outfit or two outfits when they're coming with just the clothes on their backs, and the just to know that they have a warm bed to sleep in,
Mm-hmm.
even if
Mm-hmm.
it's while we work to reunify them with a
Mm-hmm.
family.
Mm-hmm.
The things that they say to us, and it does choke you up a little bit, because the
Mm-hmm.
things that they say to us is,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have to do this for us.
Right.
Or
Right.
the
Mm-hmm.
things that they say to our staff down there, they go to the
Mm-hmm.
staff and they say, you guys are all so nice, and
Mm-hmm.
you you we can't even begin to tell you how much that has meant to us,
Mm.
because of
Yeah.
what they've gone through just to get there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't
Right. Right.
expect what they are
Right.
being given. They
Yeah.
they didn't expect the just the love that
Yeah.
our staff is giving them.
Yeah. Isn't it
Yeah.
amazing in the world today that we're surprised by people being nice? Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah.
just so and it always humbles me and grounds me when I hear those stories. Lupe, tell us, give us a story about one of these children that you have worked with and how it impacted you.
I'm like, oh,
Okay,
giving up
yeah,
with
yeah.
all
I
the
know, I
kids
know.
I
Try
work
not to,
with.
try not to cry. Try. Woo, I'm forcing tears back. I promise you.
Well, I'm thinking about a little girl. Let's call her Ashley, Maria.
Hmm.
Luna. Let's
Right,
call her
right, right.
Luna because the moon. I
Luna.
love the
Okay,
moon. Okay.
little Luna.
So we're gonna call her Luna. She's 4 years old. This little girl came exactly how I mentioned with a little paper,
Right, right,
saying this is my mom.
right.
And this little girl just had a smile, but when she came to the belief center,
Hmm.
remind you, she comes from this shelter, like Trisha said, but the shelter is
Yes.
very, unfortunately, they don't have that, um they don't have the warm feeling like we do,
Right,
right?
right,
Because
right.
They're, and it's understanding because sometimes they have other jobs, right? But
Right.
they come to our office. This little girl was embraced. She was like feared. Her eyes were big. Like, where am
Right.
I?
Where am I?
And then we're like,
Yes.
don't worry. Yes, put your stuff down. Let's, how are you? And like
Right.
minimal talk. 4 years old, when she started talking to me, I thought I was talking to a teenager, literally 12 years old. Why?
Wow.
Because she
Wow.
was so alert, and she was
Yes.
like, "Are you going to help me find my mom? Are you going to help me find my mom?" And I said, "Yes,
Oh,
yes, And it was hard for her. She told us her
Right.
story of 4 year olds from the day she left Honduras to the day she came across the border.
Right.
During this whole time, of course, she had a hard time with wanting to go home, but adapted so
Right.
well to the family. Why?
Right.
Because the foster family actually embraced her. Like you said, those little details of, here you go, here's a snack,
Yes.
here's a shower, go bathe, here's some brand new
Yes.
shoes, because we have to, they deserve all this little things. She
Right.
was just so appreciative constantly. Like, her words in her mouth was gracias, gracias, gracias for
Gracias.
this,
Gracias.
gracias, señorita. And
Right.
and
Right.
it's it's just so amazing that, like
Mm-hmm.
Trisha said, they're so
Mm-hmm.
appreciative of the little
Right.
things, even the
Right.
acknowledgments, right?
Mm.
mhm.
Then finally, I processed the paperwork. Yes, like I said, there's assessments in there's interviews and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
I completed that, right? We
Mm-hmm.
when I traveled to drop her off with her family. Let me tell you, that
Right.
little girl embraced her mom, hugged her, and she ran to her. It it was beautiful. She had not
Right.
seen her mom in 2 years. She had
I
not seen her mom in 2 years. Yes,
I can't even. Okay, I'm trying not to.
it was.
I'm forcing these tears not to
Yeah,
come out now, y'all. Y'all got me crying on my own show.
yeah,
Now stop it.
yes, yes.
But it has totally changed my life and how I see
Oh yeah.
kids, and even it's taught me how to be appreciative of the small things in life that we take so for granted.
Yeah, yeah,
With that and these children, I am 2 weeks younger than Jesus and can't even imagine having to go through what they've gone through, you know, with
Right.
right.
that.
Yeah.
And it can't, I hear the stories, but I'm not going to lie. It's still hard for me to fathom that. And then when I go down to that center and see those kids, yo, I just want to break. Yes, yes. Okay. Why are my eyes leaking? Listen, I understand. I
Yes.
hear you. Maybe and I think that's another dad that just commented because I see my own kids and I can't help
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
see my own kids. And though and many people know that my baby daughter is adopted, and I know what she had to get through just to fight for her own life. So I can't imagine
Mhm.
whatever you know language barriers, age barrier. Lupe, I see you.
Oh
All
yeah.
those things, and still I press and say that I gotta find my mom. Can someone help me find my mom? I'm done. I'm done. Trisha, share with
Yeah.
us because I'm trying to hold it together, yo. Share with us one of your stories and how it affected you.
well, you're not going to hold it together with this one either.
Oh Lord, help me,
um,
Jesus.
so I'm definitely not as much in the trenches as Lupe is, but
Right.
um, I got the opportunity to go with Lupe to reunify our very first set of siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And the story that makes it even more important for what we do is these three girls were actually making the journey to the border with their dad. And their mom was already here in the United States, and they were making that journey for the same reasons that we've discussed, trying to escape, the violence that was in their home country. And they were turned away at the border, which often
Mm-hmm.
happens when they're with an adult or a parent. And when they were turned away, they were
Mm-hmm.
about to start going back with the group that they came with. And their dad went to, I'm not sure where exactly he went, whether it was into a store or into the restroom. And all of a sudden, he didn't come back. And the group was still there, getting ready to leave to go on their journey, whether it was all the way back or if it was
Mm-hmm.
to go try again. And the oldest sibling, who was 16, she had to make a decision. And
Mm-hmm.
she had to make a decision right then and there. Do I
Mm-hmm.
take my sisters with this group of people that I don't know? I don't know them because I was with my
Mm-hmm.
dad.
Mm-hmm.
I was with the person I trusted most.
Mm-hmm.
Um, or do I take a chance? And in
Mm-hmm.
that moment, sorry,
Right.
in that moment,
Right. Right.
she had the courage to take
Yeah.
her sisters back across the border. And
Right.
that's how we got them.
Yes.
And when we got to that airport in Washington, D.C., Lupe and I didn't even see her mom, their mom, and their uncle. And in an instant, the youngest was 7, and she had not
Mm-hmm.
seen her mom since she was 4.
Mm.
And in the airplane, all the way there, she was singing a tune about seeing her mama, about she couldn't wait to see
Mhm.
her mama, and
Mm-hmm.
her oldest
Mm-hmm.
sister was saying, "We're almost there, we're
Mm-hmm.
almost there." The minute they saw them, they all rushed and attacked her, and it was instant.
Mm.
It was
Y'all,
instant. As much as you try to control the emotion, you can't.
right.
You can't. And
Right.
that was a picture that was so needed, especially for me,
Right.
so that I could see the impact of what we are doing and what we're going to
Right.
continue to do.
Yes.
Right. That's so amazing.
Mhm.
And okay, we're a 16-year-old making life or death decision for her and her sister.
Exactly.
Right. Portia, I how are they even equipped to make those type of decisions and
Mhm.
trusting and I don't know what it takes. And you're right. It is so um meeting and hearing those stories. And I remember you calling me from the airport and just tears in hearing the tears and in your voice and everything. And
Yeah.
even now as we recall it, that's why what we do is so important. And that's why, yo, I thought it was so necessary that we humanize
Yeah.
what we see on CNN, that we humanize
Yeah.
what we see on the news, that we
Mhm.
humanize. I know that our Vice President Kamala Harris has gone there and says, stop. And I'm not saying anything against her because we cannot take on the world or anything,
Right.
but we humanize that which we can do. And so we are in definitely desperate need of foster family resource families.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
pero es necesita que hablas español. So if you know anyone in the Southern California Inland Empire that are
Did you see what he learned there,
qualified,
Lupe? Sorry. Did
Huh?
what you
Yeah.
say?
I know. That's what I was like. Oh, come
you
on,
see what he
girl.
learned
You're
there just for
good.
the show?
I
Que necesita te hablas español, pero solamente inglés. No, no,
know.
no.
Sí, sabes muy bien.
Gracias, gracias.
Sí.
I'm
No te
trying.
pegues
Yes,
abajo. Bien que
yes.
sabes.
I'm gonna be bilingual yet, yo, because I'm gonna get me one of these kids. I can't. Yes, the humanized story. Stories humanize us all. Yes, yes. So, Portia, you're the great storyteller, and that's why we do what we do, because we needed to humanize that, y'all, to hear the stories, to see those children, to and listen. If you don't speak Spanish, que no habla español, you can still help us out. One, we need your
Yes.
prayers. 2, we need your
Yes.
support. 3, we need you to share these stories with other people.
Sure.
And 4, I'll say it this way: we accept donations, because any donations that you give, 100% of these, all donations go to these children. 0, we'll give you
Yeah.
a receipt, whatever you need to
Yeah.
share that these, you can make an impact in these children's lives. And we want to again humanize this and share these stories, because it's so important. This is not the first time you will hear these stories. We will be back every other week to share these stories and to humanize, because there are so many other stories with this that we could go on, but we don't want to negate the impact that you can have on changing the
Right.
trajectory of someone's life. Lupe, yes, please let us know how we can do.
Can
Oh
I?
my God,
I do
Portia.
want to. Yes, I want to add
Please,
that.
Lupe.
I want to add to that. So I know some people, unfortunately, they're not able to foster
Right,
at this moment, but they were able to help me do like hygiene bags in the beginning.
right.
Let me tell you, these kids were there. Is this my backpack? Is this is this mi bolsa? I said, yes, this is your backpack.
Yes.
All of them, I'm not joking. They were so happy just to get a little shampoo for themselves, a little
Right,
like a loofah. They were super
right,
Yeah.
grateful for those little
right,
Yes.
details. And and that's how she was able to help.
right,
So like you said, anything helps. I know,
right.
but
Yeah.
of course, we need more foster families because we do.
Yes.
It comes to the point that we have so many kids. It could be, I think, I haven't checked yet, but they range numbers. It could range from 400 that are waiting to be placed, and then sometimes it could go up to 1,000 to be placed.
Right,
Right?
right.
Imagine from all of them, we only have limited space on bringing them.
That's right.
So we
Yeah.
definitely need foster families. And another thing, to add, like foster families, yes, you do get compensated, but I think it's not even about that. It's your heart
Yes,
needs to be in it. And I
yes,
really
Yes.
want to say that. Like if
Yes.
you open your
Absolutely.
doors, let it be for love to help,
yes,
you know, and care, but
yes.
because that is the biggest reward. And from what I've heard, the foster family is like, I don't care of how much everything is, like little things that I have to take care of
Hmm.
stuff. I don't mind. The thing is the impact that these kids are leaving with.
Yes,
That
Yeah.
we were able to secure them with a home, with a blanket,
yes, yes,
with their room, with food, their little snacks, all that
yes.
thing. That's what's 100% worth it at the end. I swear, if
You're
I could,
Yes.
I will open my house 100% all the time, like you said. But
right.
I can't wait to get like a huge big house, like Marty, with kids everywhere. Because I swear, right? Just sure, we're like, okay, if
Yes.
you have someone else, we're like, okay, hopefully we find a home. But if not, can you
Yes.
come with me? No, Lisa, they cannot.
Yes.
Right, right. And that's it. Yes. Daryl, can you put up the last comment by Elizabeth Johnson? Thank you, Elizabeth. Says if churches would host a foster family information meeting, then more families may open their hearts and their home. Great ideas are happening here. Elizabeth, thank you so much. We will take any suggestions from churches that we would
Yes.
love to come and host an information night to help and even just give some of the requirements that are needed. And we got a few more minutes. Yes, good. We got to talk for those who might be interested.
Mhm.
Trisha, what
Yeah.
I know there's the we're considered kind of very short term because we can host them from anywhere from 1 week to 90 days because our primary responsibility is trying to relocate them with a
Yes.
family member of origin. But can you share with us maybe some of the requirements or just some basic stuff? And if they're
Yeah.
interested, what can they do? We do have a contact information that they can contact us at.
Yes, definitely. So, very basic qualifications just to become a resource family start with
Hmm.
criminal background checks. Every
Yes.
single adult in the home has to pass a Department of Justice, FBI, and Child Abuse Central Index check before we can move forward. And then we take you through an orientation.
Hmm.
We do a home inspection on your home
Hmm.
so that we can help you in the process, um, uh, fit your home to pass the home inspection. So that's
Right.
little things like plugs, cover plugs,
Right. 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 Right.
making sure medication is locked, making
Right.
sure knives are locked, making
Hmm.
sure basically it's a safe area for
Right.
children to
Right.
be in.
Right.
There's
Mhm.
fire extinguishers that are required, little things like that.
Right.
We take you through that
Right.
process and help you uh, get your home ready to pass that inspection.
Right.
And
Right.
then there is a 12-hour training that's required in the state of California that we can offer you in person if you learn
Hmm.
better in person, or we can offer it to
Or
you online. And
okay.
in addition to that, we provide you with training with regards to the Office of Refugee Resettlement so that
Nice.
you are able to understand both and meet
Hmm.
the requirements.
Okay.
And then, as far as space goes, we can have a total of 6 children in one home, and that
Okay.
includes your children that are currently in the
Okay.
home. So, if you
Okay.
have 3 children of your own, then you can have a total of 3 foster children placed in your home if you have
Okay.
the space for them.
Right. Right.
And
If you have this, no, if you have the space for them, we just not gonna
yes,
put 10 in one room.
yeah. And so there has to be bedroom space. There cannot be any shared living area.
Okay.
So one bedroom can have up to 3 children in the bedroom as long as there is enough space for 3 beds
Okay.
in the
Okay.
bedroom. So routinely, two is the routine. That's
Okay.
typically what we see. But if there is
Hmm.
enough space for three, we can have 3 beds in a
Okay.
bedroom. And then
Okay.
there's other specifics with regards to age and
Right. Right. Right.
the children in the bedroom have to be all female if they are above the age of 8
Hmm.
or 8 and above. And then there's other specific requirements like
Sure.
that
Sure.
we share with you in the orientation process.
I love that you said because what I'm hearing is that it's not a painful process because too many people think I'm gonna speak for the
Mm.
black folk. I don't know Hispanic population or the Latino Afro Latino. Y'all all up in my business. But
Oh yeah, I hear that too.
but right, we hear that. No, we're not trying to be in your business, but we want to make sure that you're a right fit, that you have the right
Right.
attitude, that you have because listen, we just not
Yes,
gonna put them anywhere. These kids have been through enough, so you're not
right.
gonna be Cruella or Cinderella's stepmother raising our
Yes.
children.
An
Right, right,
addict.
right.
Yes.
No.
raising raising our kids because we care, and that's why we say at the Belief Center at Marcel, every heart matters. And I love that. I love that every heart matters. Johnson, this is simply wonderful, wonderful, such needed and meaningful work you all are doing at the Believe Center at Marcel. John Henry Scott, you're so right. Thank you so much for joining in, John Henry Scott. There he is, Lupe. We want to make
I
sure you are
know.
not. That's right, Portia. We got to make sure you ain't cray cray.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Right, right. Because we will
Yes.
decertify you. Listen, as quickly as we certify you, we
Oh,
can't decertify you. Get them children out that
right?
house. Get my children, get my babies out
Yes.
that house. You hear me call them my
Yes.
babies now. Get my babies out the house.
No.
Go ahead,
Yes, I do
Lupe.
that all the time. So don't worry. I do that all the time. I'm like, no, please take care of my kids.
Right, right.
Like I said, we're big on that safety,
Yes,
security. But like
yes,
I said, usually it's just embraced them with so much love. Just think about
yes,
how will
Yeah.
you be like to be embraced? That you're coming
yes.
from a country that you don't know, right? You
Right.
come from different worlds.
Right.
And you're coming here. They've said so many good things about the United States, but you come here and they come here and you treat them badly. Imagine that.
Yes.
No,
Yeah.
you want to embrace them. You want to teach them, basic skills too. So they
Yes.
have that in them, and good thing
Right.
that they have so much support. You
Right.
have 24 hours. Look, I have my phone right here. 24-hour caseworkers,
That's right. That's
24
right.
hours nurse,
Right.
the therapist. We're such a great team because we
We
want to
are.
make sure that these foster families feel so comfortable. And any questions, they could go ahead and text us. They it's for the better of the child, but themselves too.
Yes.
We want to make
Yes.
sure both of them are on the right page.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
And
so
I think
proud
it's
of the.
also,
Mhm. Go ahead. Go
oh,
ahead, Trisha.
sorry. I think it's also important to note, especially as she's talking about our resource families, to highlight a few of our resource families that are really doing an amazing job.
Yes.
The
Yes.
stories we hear coming out of our resource family homes. We have one resource family that found out that the kids had never been to the beach and took them to the beach the very next day. Had one of
Wow.
the older
Hmm.
girls talk about how she loved to cook, and so they had her teach them how to cook empanadas where
Oh my
she's
goodness.
from.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
and
love some
just
empanadas.
stories like that of
yes.
Yes.
them, you know, connecting with the kids and
Embracing them.
showing them that they
Yes.
matter, right? That they matter
Yes.
here.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Right.
I'm so proud of the work that we are able to do at the Believe Center at Marcel. So you guys are awesome for doing this type of work. Listen, you know what? And I know this is the case for all of you. It really is a calling because it doesn't feel like work. We get to do the things that, you know what,
Yeah.
to brighten other children's lives. That what you
Yeah.
do to the least of them, we're doing unto service. And I'm going to say it this way, unto the Lord as well. And I know that that's what we truly believe in our hearts too. Lupe,
Mm,
listen, I can't believe our time has gone all by already. Oh my God. Lupe,
I know.
you were fabulous on this first show, darling. I'm stealing
Yes.
Oh,
Portia Scott's saying you were
thank
absolutely
you.
amazing. This is not going to be your last time,
Thank you.
but if someone may want to get a hold of you, Miss Lupe Sanchez,
Yes, please.
how might they be able to get a hold of you at the Believe Center
Oh,
at Marcel?
yes, please. So, I am a bilingual, so por favor,
See,
mándenme mensajes por teléfono o por correo electrónico. But you could
see,
reach me at lsanchez@marcelconsulting.com, and also at my cell phone number. I'm going to provide that to you. It's 909-518-0278. Please contact me. I'll make sure to give you more information about it. But definitely, if your heart tells you and you have the space and you know that you're doing not just one little impact, you're just
right.
imagine the connection you're doing. You're serving this child, but you're also serving their family,
Yeah.
their country. So it's
Yes,
not just that little impact that you're doing, and this is a forever thing. Just one last thing. I just talked to
yes,
one of our children that we did the first reunification with, and they were so excited to hear from us. They were so happy. They're like, we miss going to school there. We
right.
miss everybody because we were
Ah,
so attentive to them.
Aw.
So they said hi to all of us, and of course, they're so grateful. They're like, all they say is gracias, gracias, gracias por todo. So just imagine that,
yes,
and they were only with us for a few, like, couple weeks, and the
right.
impact. And they said forever we'll remember the Belief Center for that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Lupe, thank you so much. Dr. Trisha McGee's, how can they get a hold of
Well,
you if
thank
they
you.
have more information? Want more
Yeah, and
information?
just so I can throw this in there from one of the comments that came up, everything that Lupe just described in those kids was identifying that we hear them and that they are heard when they come
Yes.
to the Believe Center at Marcel. And that is what is most important, that we give that voice to the voiceless.
Yes.
And so
Love that.
I can be reached at the email that is on the screen right now at tpagis@marcelconsulting.com. And you can also reach me at our main office number at Marcel. That is 909-323-7100.
Yes, yes, yes. And we also listed our website at marcelconsulting.com/the beliefs dash the dash believe dash center. So that will give you right into our website. But you could check out marcel.com. You can definitely go in there and click the tab, the Believe Center, and that will get you all the information that you need to know. And also at our main number with Marcel Consulting at 909-323-7100. My heart is filled tonight, guys. You guys have made this inaugural show. Oh,
Oh,
come on,
Oh,
oh,
John.
sí, gracias, John.
Yes. Read that for those of us who
Oh,
can't read Espanol. Please,
yeah, go ahead,
Lupe.
Lupe.
translate. Okay, so he said,
Yes.
gracias, thank you for
Uh-huh.
espectáculo
Uh-huh.
maravilloso. So
Yes.
speculate, great informative information that we provided.
Yes. Yes.
So
Come
thank
on.
you.
John Henry
Oh,
Scott
look
the
at him.
third.
And he put it, even the acento. Thank you so much.
Yes. Yes. Paula,
Oh,
Paula is my greatest follower, so I love her. Paula says you all do
oh,
amazing work. I'm in awe of you. Love Paula, we love you. Thank you
oh,
so much. We
thank
are
you,
so
Paula.
grateful, and the work that we do, we are so grateful for that. Listen, I thank you for joining us on this inaugural show of the Mental Health Matters with Marty show, presenting the Believe Center at Marcel. Again, my name is Martina Sellers, and I am your mental health hygienist. And this is only the beginning of the conversation that we are having. And what we're going to do on my podcast, I did drop a new shameless plug today, my latest podcast, because this month, June, is Men's Health and Awareness Month. That I at on your podcast, I'm going to recover here because I'm so excited about this Mental Health Matters with Marty podcast. And please, if you are an Apple listener, please give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review so that others might come along and be encouraged by it. And become an I Matter member of Mental Health Matters with Marty by texting I Matter to 855-717-1272. Again, that's 855-717-1272. I am so excited about what we have shared here today. And I definitely want you to know that not only does every heart matter, but like John Henry Scott has said, part of our philosophy and our vision and mantra at Marcel Consulting is I am heard. And not only, like I said, does every heart matter, every voice is heard. You heard it from Lupe. You heard it from Trisha. And we're going to have other staff members on here to reassure you that every voice is heard. If you have any questions or don't want desiring about donations, please give our office a call and we can set that up for you as well. We are so grateful and so excited that you have chosen to join us and to listen to the stories, because we want to, again, make sure that every heart does matter. And we want to help share with you so that these children are heard by sharing the voice of the voiceless, who are the unaccompanied minors who make it here to our borders. Please join us next Tuesday for our next show of Mental Health Matters with Marty as we continue in our series that June is Men's Health Awareness Month. But as I say each week in closing, always remember, listen, we have to stop the stinking thinking and stop secretly suffering in the shadow of shame. But we have to speak up, speak out, and live. And always remember to enjoy your life. We'll see you next time.